Welcome to the milk bar. 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 Welcome to the milk bar.
Welcome along to episode 684 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. And coming up on the show this week, former Blue Peter presenter Janet Ellis joins us. We'll be having a bit of a natter about how you can make a difference to your grandkids' world by choosing a charity to leave money to in your will. We'll be having a natter with Ivan Fletcher about his marathon running, raising funds for Pancreatic Cancer UK. We'll be talking to Dwayne, AJ and Kyle Finn. Kyle has a brand new single out. Dwayne features on it. We'll be talking about Leaving Me Out 2.0. That's on the way. We'll be hearing from Tudor Musical Comedy Society. They have Made in Dagenham on stage in September at the Sutton Coldfield Town Hall, having a natter with their secretary all about that one. Plus, on top of that, we'll be finding out about a Middle-earth style map, which is coming to the Midlands and featuring Staffordshire and the West Midlands, so Wolverhampton, Cannock, Bilston, Willenhall, and all surrounding areas are very heavily featured in an amazing piece of artwork. And on top of that, we'll also be finding out what went on as the Grand Theatre have launched their Stages Summer School. We'll be finding out from some of the people who are leading free classes for the kids, and also from Lucy Ellen Parker, all about the event itself and how it came together. That's on the way this week. Made in Dagenham has been brought to the stage of the Sutton Coldfield Town Hall by Tudor Musical Comedy Society. They're there from the 20th through to the 24th of September, and it's going to be an absolute treat because it's an awesome musical. They're a fantastic bunch, and to prove that, I'm joined now by Secretary Charlie Ward.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. I trust we're finding you excited about the show, which is just a few weeks away now, so it's getting close.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, we're all really, really excited to get back to the stage. It's been a funny few years. So, yeah, everyone's really, really stoked to get back onto it.
Now, before we stick the refrain Made in Dagenham in everybody's heads forever, because it does stay there once you've seen the show, tell us a bit about Tudor themselves.
So Tudor Musical Comedy Society started 60 years ago, actually by my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
They started the society. My father took over as chairman. I recently stepped down as being chairman, and we just pride ourselves on being a really friendly, all-inclusive bunch that just want to have fun and produce really good things in the process.
Yeah, I knew you'd been chair, so I knew you'd have some history, but I didn't realise it was genetic.
Yes, it is in the veins.
So I mean, it must be great being part of it. So who's taken over as chair? You haven't gotten any more offspring that you've put into the job, have you?
Not just yet. They're a little bit too young now. A lady called Jane Gleek has taken over chairman and is doing a wonderful job.
Absolutely. So, when it comes down to Made in Dagenham, this is a show that's important not only because the songs are blooming awesome in it, it's a great story, but it's proper social history too. And when you combine a memorable musical with something we need to know about, even though things aren't fixed, they're a lot better. But this was the start of a change, which has leveled up, using a modern phrase, much of our community.
Oh, absolutely. You feel a sense of pride being in this musical because, especially as a woman, you really are telling such an important story of what actually happened. And when you're watching the scenes and you're singing a song, it really resonates with you. And it's still quite strange to believe that these things once happened or these words were once allowed to be said to women. But, we're getting there, and it's really, really great to be able to show this story in a musical version.
Yeah, absolutely. And so within our parents' lifetimes, definitely, but certainly this attitude and these issues carried on well into mine, into the 70s. And so it's not right now. We still know there are gender pay gaps, but they're not quite as accepted these days, shall we say. It's not as blatant as it has been in the past.
Absolutely, yeah. And, it's we've got a wide range of ages in the cast, some that have been with us for years since the beginning, some that are new and in their teens coming into their early 20s. And to see everyone getting together to show this story, everyone has their own take on it, and it's touching everyone in a different way, which shows different portrayals of characters, which is amazing to see.
Because I mean, we used to have a huge car industry in the UK. Ford's plant in Dagenham was part of that, where the song, the title of the show comes from. And you've got workers who were being paid to do very technical jobs and quality work, which made the cars comfortable, usable, and it was just being completely dismissed as being an ancillary workers who were worth nothing. And although without them, the factory stops. And no spoilers there, I don't think. But it's still, a huge impact. And telling this tale, showing what went on and showing the start of an improvement in the situation, and also the attitude of some of the men who were there who agreed that women should be paid the right rate for the job, and those who just were prepared to let them work for nothing.
Absolutely. Again, no spoilers, but when you get to the end of the show and one of the most fabulous musical numbers I think I've ever been in stand up, you really do get to see, especially the men's changing attitude through that song. And by the end of that song, if you haven't got goosebumps, then we're doing something
faulty. You need to go and see your doctor about that, don't you? That's to be fair.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Is that a good show? But and I love the fact that it's a music. It's a recent one. It's just been the story's been in a brilliant film, and it's all of that comes together. And when Tudor do this, you say you've been going 60 years. Is the reason why you're still going strong.
Absolutely, yeah. We were lucky enough that we were able to do Legally Blonde in 2021, which was our post-lockdown show, and we started that in 2019. So we kept together and we kept rehearsing on Zoom and all of these, and we got through to Legally Blonde, and there was challenges, and this to just be able to continue onto the next straight away. The feeling and the buzz in the society is amazing, and that is just coming straight through onto the stage.
Yeah, it's almost normal. Not quite normal with the world at the minute, but it's almost normal.
Yeah, we're getting there.
That's what counts. So the important thing is getting people to come along and see it. Now, I know tickets are already selling well, but it's the Tuesday the 20th through to Saturday the 24th. And tell us about the shows and how we actually get our hands on tickets to come and see.
Yeah, of course. So you can call our ticket hotline, which is 07842 214 631, or you can visit ticketsource.co.uk/TMCS, and you'll be able to do seat selection there. And if you call our ticket number, there'll be a lovely ticket secretary, Deb, who will talk you through anywhere and everywhere you want to sit.
Okay, so we can work all that out. It is Sutton Coldfield Town Hall, the venue, which means it's easy to get to Sutton. It's only down the road, sensible parking. And you say you've got members from all over the Midlands, haven't you?
Absolutely, yeah. Our lead Rita travels from Derby. We've got people South Birmingham, North Birmingham, everywhere, all to come together to do this collective, amazing musical.
Well, it's going to be an absolute treat. As I know that from the show, and I know it from some of the people I know who are involved in Tudor. So that's all good. But it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Charlie Ward, Secretary of Tudor, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you.
It seems 3/4 of grandparents are worrying about their children's future. Somebody whom I can't possibly imagine to be a grandparent, although no, it is actually the truth, is Janet Ellis, who joins me now to tell us more. Hello.
I am so a grandparent. My eldest grandson is 18, for goodness sake. So I ought to be getting good at this by now.
So this frightens me because I grew up watching you on Blue Peter, and it reminds me I turned 50 this year, but there we go. So, I mean...
It turned out very well.
I do my best. I even got a Blue Peter badge at one point, but there we go. It's the excitement of it. So, I mean...
No, come on. What did you get your badge for?
This is a bit awkward to admit. I copied a Delia Smith recipe out of a swap shop book and sent it in, and I still got a badge.
Don't feel guilty about that. You put your mind to it. You endeavoured. You got a badge.
I did my best handwriting. That's the thing that counts.
Well, there you go. Come on.
But I mean, back in the day, when you were worried about the grandkids, it was whether they were going to get him free to a large number of theme parks or whatever with their Blue Peter badge. These days, there's much more to worry about, isn't there?
There is, yeah. And I think, although we are worried, it's almost the wrong word, isn't it? Because what we're really doing is becoming aware. We have spent years not quite ignoring things because they weren't pointed out in quite the clear way that they are now, but we are definitely more aware of the way the world might be in the future if we don't help it along a little. You know, the survey commissioned by Remember a Charity found that grandparents are worried about employment prospects for their grandchildren, health implications, the climate change, and really the wider world. And I think that's a shared endeavour. I think it's a good thing we're worried rather than taking it as being pessimistic.
Absolutely. And so we need to think about what is going on. And obviously lots of people get involved in trying to change things when it comes to the environment and all the things that we have some sort of control over. We can use our buying power to do good. And also we can work through charities to help those who need it as well. And it is something that we personally have to take responsibility for and use what we can do to try and push things for the better.
Absolutely, pop a little gift in your will, because I'm as guilty. Hands up here. I'm as guilty as the next person of thinking, that I support charities. Therefore, there are a couple that are close to me that I do more than the others because they are particular causes that I espouse. And like a lot of people, I react. If there's something that comes up on my phone or the television, or I'm prompted in some way. Like most people, you'll go, yeah, I really want to help, and we are really good at that in this country. What we're not so good at is thinking of what might happen beyond our deaths to charities that we've supported in life. And that's where you can give a gift in your will. And Remember a Charity is all about prompting you to just think, about your legacy and about what might matter down the line. Just that old cliche about planting a tree that somebody else will sit in the shade of. And actually I think that's a rather lovely way of thinking about the world, because I do think, like I said at the beginning, the fact that we're more aware is a good thing, because we can share those concerns for a start, and we can, in a very, very small way, link arms and try and do something about it and make a bit of a noise. I think grandparents and grandchildren often don't live as close by as they used to do in the olden days. Therefore, when you do link up, you may not necessarily be having these conversations. But trust me, everyone, once you do start talking about these things, your grandchildren really want to join in. This is what they're talking about at school. This is what they share with their friends. And the fact that people that they might think are content to just live out this bit and just think, well, it's fine, I'm having a nice time, good luck with the future. The fact that we are concerned, I think, is a really, really positive thing.
Yeah, and then say you get to choose what you're supporting as well. Through the knowledge you've had in life, you can see what you can do to prolong things.
Oh, for sure.
And the importance there is also having a will, so your family know what you want to do. Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely a sidebar, but it's got a neon border. I do think it's a good thing to do. It feels awful, but my husband died 2 years ago, which is still a horrible and difficult fact. But the fact that we had made wills together made life a lot easier, I have to say. And I know anybody in my position will feel the same. But of course, it always feels, confronting mortality is always a tricky one. But I do think with this particular impetus, for gifting in your will and remembering a charity beyond, that it's not darkness, this subject. It's really a light. It's shining a light into a future you believe in, if you won't see it.
And it makes thinking about it much more positive. You are making a difference, as you say.
Absolutely.
And, hopefully your name will appear on a plaque somewhere as well. You never know.
Well, you never know. Maybe I'll just have one made.
Keep yourself. Sure. Inform the grandkids. You've got to nail this to a tree somewhere because of the money I get. No, maybe no. We don't want to damage the tree. But so it is nice though. Wherever it is, whether it's just in the knowledge that you've done something which is going to be great for your grandkids, for their futures, or whether there is a cancer cure that you've helped towards. We've got amazing progression over the last number of decades, but there is still a long way to go on so many diseases.
Yeah, and also just looking through the list of charities that have been helped in the past by this, and there's a couple that are really close to my heart as a Blue Peter presenter, because we supported Insure Lifeboats right the way through, and Guide Dogs for the Blind as well. And both of those charities have benefited hugely from these bequests. In fact, if you go on the website, which I have no hesitation in sending people to, because it's really clear and answers all those questions about any potential complexity, clue there isn't, and the cost, which is negligible, but it will also give you some personal stories of how bequests have made a difference, and they are so moving and also really positive. And you're so right, it's just like holding a torch and shining it forwards, isn't it? Other people can walk the path if you just give them a little bit of help.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is that website?
Oh, it's rememberacharity.org.uk, so pretty clear.
Simple as that. Go along, check out the details, see what's involved in making a will. It's something you may never have thought of before, and this is something giving the impetus to say, well, yeah, once I have got some cash left over because I'm not going to be using it anymore, it's time to share it and pass it on and pay something forward effectively.
Oh my goodness, that's put it so well. Yeah, that's the message. That's great.
And it's also talking to your family about it, as uncomfortable as that may be. And so your family have already had that loss, and the grandkids will be more than aware of the pain that's there. But you can look at the good times and make it an enjoyable thing to talk about too.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, we've still got a good place in the world, I think, and we're still, humans overcome so much difficulty and adversity because we have a lot of things under the surface to do with love and generosity and care that you really only have to scratch a little bit to find. So that's a great message, and I want to share it with the grandkids too. That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm. And probably share also some sticky back plastic and use washing liquid bottles, which must still feature in your life in some way or form.
It's so funny that because I was introduced to a lot of terms when I started doing the Make Some Boobies that I'd never heard before, sticky back plastic and doweling and braddles. So I ended up knowing, that's for sure. And yes, only recently, one of my grandsons actually had to cover a school book, and I could not tell him about sticky back plastic fast enough. I mean, it's, that's my legacy as well.
Yeah, there's cupboards full of the stuff in your home, bound to be, because in case you suddenly have an impromptu, I want to make something moment.
Exactly, I really do. I can't throw anything away, but it'll always come in, and just obviously, if you stick something to something else, then it's bound to turn into a make at some point or another.
That's the way to do it. Well, obviously, on the serious side of things, we are still thinking about Remember a charity and the opportunity to get your wills together. And if you laminate it and stick it back plastic, everybody will know exactly what it says, even if it rains on the day it gets read. That will be okay. Janet Ellis, MBE, thank you so much for joining us.
That's great. That's the plaque. That's great.
Ta-ra for now.
Bye.
Leaving Me Out 2.0 is the brand new single from Kyle Finn and Dwayne AJ, both of whom join me now. Hello, boys.
Hello, how are we doing?
Oh, good here. And I've just been finding you both well and loving the summer and the amount of work this always brings you.
Yeah, it's been fantastic this year. Been an early start to the year for me with festivals. Last year, I didn't start till sort of July. So this year I started in early May, and it's going on till October. So yeah. Enjoying that.
And Dwayne?
Yeah, so much more busier than last year, obviously. But yeah, no, really, really good. I'm so glad to be out there and busy again.
Good stuff. Right, so Kyle, this collaboration, it's your baby, but you needed a second powerful voice, and this is where Dwayne comes in.
Yeah. I think we touched on it briefly on the last interview we all did together.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to do a song on being left out of a group. When you're sort of the last person to be invited to something, or forgotten about in a group of friends. So we started working on it with a different backing track. We recorded that, released it, and then I just felt like it needed something a bit more houseier, a bit more clubby. So we've done this version, and it's took over a year. Is it even over a year, about sort of 18 months, but I really love this version, and it's been worth the wait, but yeah, it has took a while.
Well, it officially drops this week, so that's going to be well worth listening. You can be able to find it online. We'll do all the details on how you can buy that in a short while's time. But I mean, when it comes to the whole touring around with music, and there is the need for these singles, and this is something which people will know when they see you performing live. Because at the minute, Carl, I mean, you're in Blackpool. I can tell that because behind you is the Blackpool Tower, unless it's Paris and it's not quite as good a day as I was expecting. But I mean, you're normally working for your base in the Midlands, aren't you?
Yes, so living in the Midlands is quite good for travelling around, sort of doing something sort of the north, east, west, or southwest, or southeast. So it's a nice base as a musician, I think, to be living where I'm living. But
Dwayne, is there going to be the chance to perform this on stage together, do you think, this year?
Well, we're hoping to. We usually do, I usually do a Halloween event at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the only time me and Kyle do get to see each other. And yeah, actually, you know, because we're so busy through this time of year. So it's probably that's when it will happen.
We know the inspiration behind this and the development of the track. And what sort of response have you had so far when you've been performing it live, Carl?
Yeah, I mean, we performed it last Halloween, the other version. Yeah, we had people dancing and getting into it. And I think it's one of Dwayne's most streamed songs and one of mine. So, yeah, this new version, though, I do feel like it is on another level. So I'm really looking forward to performing that. And I really want to perform it at festivals with Dwayne if we get the opportunity to. And the music video, we did film ages ago. But now this version's done, then I'm gonna get the music video done for both versions, and it's gonna be a real nightclubby.
So there's going to be plenty of good vibes to this, and I think it's the chance to see people who've been to your gigs as well. That's the fun part of it. I mean, you've got so much actually happening at the minute as you tour around, and we're looking for. I know you have streaming success, but it's then getting this to the point at which it's chart success as well, which would be nice.
Oh, that'd be amazing! Yeah, I want to get into soundtracks and the films and things. I think that would get it out there. I've had one song in a soundtrack to a movie, but yeah, this one I think I'll look at adverts and production companies and send it and see if they want to use it for anything. But I do feel that this will be the one. That's what I do feel.
Yeah, I feel like with this track, it would probably work pretty well in the clubs and stuff, wouldn't it? You know, especially obviously the gay clubs. I just think it would go down pretty well. I think it's so hard, isn't it, these days? Well, I say it's so hard to promote, but it's not, because you've got so much social media and stuff like that. But at the same time, if you know what I mean, Kyle, it is quite difficult, isn't it? Because I don't know if it's because everyone's competing.
Yeah, I think getting it, performing it live definitely I find helps a lot, but if we could get it in a soundtrack to a movie, so if there's anyone listening that is sort of involved in a production or an advert or something, it would be nice to get it sort of heard in a different sort of way, because it has got a sort of nice moral to the lyrics as well. So
I think it's quite nice to have this version, you know, compared to the, like you said earlier, you know, it is one of my most, it gets streamed quite a lot. So from my album and so, you know, a lot of my singles and stuff. I mean, I would say that song is probably up there with most of my original songs that does get streamed the most. I don't know. I'm guessing, you know, it obviously relates to people. And, you know, like we said, with this version, we just wanted to create more of a sort of a dance vibe sort of track, you know? So yeah, no, it's really good. I had a little listen to it on the way home in the car actually last night.
That's the test, isn't it? How it works in the car.
Definitely, you always got to test it in the car. Every song I get mastered, it's always tested in the car.
Yeah, it works every time. Right, so the music is out there now. Leaving Me Out 2.0 is what we're looking for. You can find the other versions as well. If you're a filmmaker and you want two different versions of the same song in the same movie, this is absolutely spot on for you. Could be a different vibe, could be a different part of the scene. This would really work. However, everybody else, download it, stream it. Let's get this doing rather well because it absolutely deserves it. Fantastic music. There's a video which runs alongside it now, and we'll take a listen to the track. But we'll look forward to the all singing, all dancing new video, which is due to come. I suppose you film some more performances, and you can bring it into working this alongside the track. So that's going to be something good to look forward to. So, Kyle, give us all your music details first, and in particular for this track.
Okay, so the best, Dwayne taught me this actually, the best place to find my music is on songwhip.com /Kyle Finn, or if you type in the Songwhip website, then it leads you to all my sort of songs that are available to stream and download. Otherwise, YouTube / the Kyle Finn, or Instagram, Kyle Finn Music, and the same with Facebook.
Okay, Dwayne, your turn.
Yeah, exactly the same, really. Like Carl said, Songwhip is such a good platform these days, you know, for people to find all your music and stuff like that. If you download Songwhip, well, not download it, it's just a website. You can just go on there and then type in either of our names, and all our music will come up in a list of different places on which people prefer, you know, their preference on where they want to download and listen to our music. Obviously, then you've got Facebook, Instagram and YouTube, so you can just type us in and you can check out all our videos and stuff on there.
There's plenty to see, plenty to enjoy, and as I say, the video will be refreshed to go with 2.0 in the not too distant future. Keep checking back for that. Meanwhile, we'll take a listen to the tune. Kyle and Dwayne, thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for having us. Cheers.
Everyone, don't you be the one, the one, the one. Don't you be the one who's gonna leave me out. We're the ones you want, you want, you want. We're the ones you want to get your party started. Don't you be the one, the one, the one. Don't you be the one who's gonna leave me out. We're the ones you want, you want, you want. We're the ones you want to get your party started.
He's in the gang, you want your name. You want your name. You want your name. Please don't offend and say your game. And say your game. And say your game. Game. He's in the gang, you want your name. You want your name. You want your name. Please don't offend and say your game. And say your game. And say your game. Game.
Don't you be the one, the one, the one. Don't you be the one who's gonna leave me out. We're the ones you want, you want, you want. We're the ones you want to get your party started. Don't you be the one, the one, the one. Don't you be the one who's gonna leave me out. We're the ones you want, you want, you want. We're the ones you want to get your party started. Don't you be the one, the one, the one. Don't you be the one who's gonna leave me out. We're the ones you want, you want, you want. We're the ones you want to get your party started. Join up, little family. There you'll be, region of fine to do.
Mix it up, the counter seat. We ride the rules in the club. In the club.
Join up, little family. There you'll be, region of fine to do.
Mix it up, the counter seat. We ride the rules in the club. In the club. And in your pack, there are diamonds. If they reach out and try to find me. And in your pack, there are diamonds. If they reach out and try to find me. So full of heart, they are the loved ones. They are the loved ones. They are the loved ones. So full of heart, they are the loved ones. They are the loved ones. They are the loved ones.
Don't you be the one, the one, the one. Don't you be the one who's gonna leave me out. We're the ones you want, you want, you want. We're the ones you want to get your party started. Don't you be the one, the one, the one. Don't you be the one who's gonna leave me out. We're the ones you want, you want, you want. We're the ones you want to get your party started. Don't you be the one, the
somebody who's working on a project which is bringing to life the world of the Midlands as Middle Earth is Chris Burse, who joins me now to tell me more about this mapping project he's working on. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello there. Nice to meet you. I'm good, thanks.
Well, good to meet you too. Now, you're not from the Midlands, but your work itself has covered the whole country pretty much. And the latest project brings parts of the original Middle Earth onto a Middle Earth style map.
Yes, that's correct. I'm going around doing hopefully every county in the UK in a Lord of the Rings Tolkien style. And the eventual goal of this, in say, hopefully 5 years, the way it's going, is to compile all of these maps into one giant fantasy atlas, which I think would just be something really cool, really unique. I've never seen anywhere anything like this done before, especially for like a real world setting such as the UK. So that is the long-term goal. And I'm currently doing it full time, actually.
Well, it's looking good, and I know you've done different bits of the UK already. You've recently been looking for the parts of the locales that you're covering to kind of fit in that maybe you don't really spot as stand out on your standard A to Z Google Maps or AA road map of the UK. So I know you've been doing that for the Midlands, and at the minute you've got Staffordshire and the former Staffordshire coming to life, because obviously bits of the West Midlands like Wolverhampton and Willenhall and Bilston, all these areas were originally part of Staffordshire, and it was only in the 70s they became part of this big conurbation as the boundaries were moved. So we've got Staffordshire and South Staffordshire to this day, alongside the West Midlands, and all of this is covered in the latest piece of work that you're doing.
Yeah, that's correct. I've had a lot of feedback actually about the boundary changes and how a lot of people would like me to do the original borders as well. So that's something I'm very keen to do at the same time. So that will be a project for in the future, because I would like to keep everyone happy as well. I don't just want to limit it to the modern boundaries and like you say, the West Midlands as well, because I understand a lot of people have ties with those places that have sadly lost their identity a bit. So I do want to keep that as well. So that will be something I'm doing in future.
Yeah, well, in Tolkien's world was, of course, Warwickshire, and that's where Birmingham was back in the day. And obviously, growing up in the city, or just outside the city, because the way it works now, obviously, Birmingham's expanded somewhat in the last best part of 100 years. It's a strange world that was there that helped inspire him to create Middle Earth. So kind of going full circle when you come back to bringing bits of the Midlands to life in map form like this. And what sort of things do you look out for? How do you feature things on these maps?
Basically, it's all very much driven by the public. I do sort of a very basic work in progress. So it just basically has all your main settlements in. Then I decide to post that online, and I join a lot of local town and village groups, and I just say to the guys there, look, what would you like to see on here? Be it ancient burial mounds, standing stones, castles, anything that I can sort of adapt and make look the part basically and fit the fancy theme. Even things like the airports, a lot of people ask for the airports because it's quite a big feature. And I can still depict them. I have dragons flying around the place. It just make pretty much anything look the part. Even things like there's a bit of myth and stuff in this as well, like especially around Cannock Chase. A lot of people were asking for something called the Black-Eyed Children, which I had to do a lot of research in. But that's really cool. So it's just these stories of ghost children with these really black eyes that sort of stalk the roads at night. So even things like that I've managed to depict on the map as well, and some of the other like local legends around Stoke as well. You've got these little gremlin creatures apparently that hang around under bridges. So I managed to show them as well. So it's not limited to just physical features either.
And you can see how the world of Tolkien brought all of this to life as well in its own way, from the creatures that are there, which have been copied endlessly by writers ever since his original ideas back in the day. And it's interesting that those little myths and stories. And have you got a favourite? Not necessarily essentially from the map you're working on at the moment, but from some of the others that you've done as you've headed across the UK.
Oh, in terms of myths, I think actually like the Black-Eyed Children is one of my favourites. It's certainly one of the creepiest I've come across. I mean, a lot of the other ones are quite harmless. From other parts of the country, like every coastal county seems to have a legend of a mermaid. Pretty standard for whatever reason. Everywhere seems to have like a giant black cat as well. again, for whatever reason. But these black-eyed children are particularly creepy, and I just thought that I have to depict that somehow. So
well, yeah, it's already scaring the hell out of me. The concept of going for a walk over Cannock Chase is scaring me a little bit now, to be fair. And it's not too far away from us here in Wolverhampton. But you know, these things are, again, part of the history of an area, and a really nice way of bringing that to life. And this is obviously not only a labour to be able to sell books and a fantastic coffee table atlas, which will come at some point, but it's clearly a labour of love as well. And is the world of Tolkien something that you enjoy being immersed in?
Absolutely, yeah. I've always enjoyed Tolkien's works. I've always loved the aesthetic of you know, his world as well. And you're right, it is a labour of love. I mean, I started this, it was 4 years ago now. Just as a little bit of fun, really. Initially, I was writing a novel, and I just needed a map to go in at the start of the book to show where the characters were going. So I thought, well, I don't really have any artistic talent, but I will give this a go myself, just a bit of fun. And being a bit of a cheapskate as well, I didn't want to pay anyone. Fortunately, it turned out really well. I was quite handy with the program I used, which is Photoshop. So upon doing that, I decided to give my home region of Teesside a go. So I depicted Teesside in a similar style, you know, depicting my hometown all fancy like, and posted that online. Got a really positive response. And then I just kind of started this journey around the country. And it always was just a side project initially, because I work full time in a supermarket as a manager. And then last year in September, I just decided, you know, this is something I am really enjoying, and I would like to make something of this. So I left, and now I do this as a full-time career, if you like.
And so getting sales off the back of this obviously very important. But such nice artwork, though. And I'm going to take us back to the 60s briefly. And there was a range of maps that showed the counties then. And this was before, I say, everything got messed up by the likes of Greater Manchester and the West Midlands and that sort of thing, which took away a lot of counties' land. And at my parents' house, they actually have a map of Staffordshire on the wall, being in Willenhall, and it's the whole aesthetic of that has got a nice feel to it and a sort of older feel, but certainly more 20th century than Middle Earth.
Yeah, well, I've had a lot of people actually share when I do this process. A lot of people share their old maps, and like as you say, the aesthetic of, you know, original maps from back then was just something really special, I think. And I would like to try and recapture some of that as well, because I think these days you don't see much in that style. It's all very ultra modern, ultra sleek, which is fine. It's very practical. But I think maps these days have sort of lost a bit of the beauty. So I do like to try and, you know, recapture a bit of that as well. And it just sparks the imagination a bit more, especially getting some features in like the myths as well, stuff that obviously modern maps just do not show. And even some features that don't exist anymore. Like a lot of people ask for things that, you know, sort of were there, you know, ancient barrows that they remember from their childhood, or stone circles that have since been demolished for housing estates, for example. You know, it's a shame that we've lost some of these features, and people only sort of exist in people's memories. So it is nice to bring that back as well and put it down on paper for other people to enjoy.
Yeah, particularly alongside the modern setting of the settlements that are there now. And say if there are bits that people don't know about, I mean, one thing that you may want to include is the Battle of Woden'sfield as well. So you have things like that have taken place in the past. And I'm going to guess that the Wednesfield Historical Society may well have brought that one to your attention already.
That was brought to my attention, yes, by quite a few people. I have got that one in. Hopefully in the right place, because there is a bit of a confusion about where that took place.
Will it be technical?
I did a lot of research
on
it. Hopefully I've got the right one.
Well, you're bound to upset somebody at some point, because there is a bit of a battle over where the battle took place.
Yeah.
But even so, I mean, it's a great part of the history. And are you keeping any of the modern thoroughfares on there, or is it more about places rather than routes between them?
Yeah, I try not to depict roads, to be fair. I've got a few of the Roman roads on, to be fair, which are quite sparsely, you know, spread around the map, so it doesn't interfere too much. But I think there is so much detail on there already. If I was to include modern roads and things, it would just it'd be a bit too full. It would detract from, you know, more ancient places that I'm trying to show. Yeah,
it gives a sense of what's going on, but and how you get from A to B, or from black-eyed children through to battle, whenever that one was. I can't remember the dates. And you've got all of this coming to life in Tolkien-esque form. So, I mean, looking good, sounding like a fantastic project. How much of the UK will you have completed once Staffordshire and the West Midlands are done?
I've done roughly, with this, it'll be pretty much bang on 25 counties, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm well on my way through England. But as I say, I'm doing the whole of the UK, so let's not forget Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland as well. So I have got a long way to go. Like I say, this is going to be at least a 5-year project, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Scotland and Wales particularly going to be quite challenging, just
Absolutely.
for the sheer volume of mountains and things like that. They do take quite a while to depict.
Well,
It's a lot of drawing on my part.
Yeah, particularly if some of them are a bit misty, because that mountains kind of were in Tolkien's time, weren't they? That's the thing.
Yeah. So it'll look the part, don't get me wrong. I think they'll look beautiful, but they will take a while.
Well, if people want to get in touch and find out more about the Staffordshire West Midlands map that will feature Wolverhampton and surrounding areas, right up to those strange creatures living under bridges outside Stoke, where do they go to find out more about you and your work?
Well, obviously, the way you found myself was through Facebook. I've got a page called Fantasy World Maps. That's my company name. I'm also on a online platform called Etsy, again, as Fantasy World Maps, all one word. And Etsy is just another selling platform, quite similar to Amazon, but it's all just made by individuals like me as opposed to large companies.
Yeah, it's creatives sharing their creativity, and it's an amazing place to be. And I picked up a few bits and pieces. It's great for Christmas shopping because you get something different on there. It's
fantastic. There's so many unique gifts on there. I love it.
Yeah, and it may sound like, it's made by crafters. It's not. It's made by professionals who happen to be crafty. That's how it works, and this is clearly what we're seeing here. And when you print these maps out, or do you share them as files as well? How do you work it?
I get them printed out.
Mm-hmm.
I go up to massive A0 sized prints, which is why these maps are so big and detailed. It's because I need to fill all up what would otherwise be blank space.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I've got a huge mirror behind me there. Some of these prints I do are like bigger than that mirror. It's amazing.
Yeah, so it's sort of either man cave or it's something to go on the wall. Maybe surrounded by your family photos of some of the places which are featured. Hopefully, nothing too scary in the case of Cannock Chase. We don't want to see that.
Don't want to scare the kids. No.
Lots to see. And so, still taking suggestions at the moment for Staffordshire and the West Midlands.
Yes, absolutely. If people have suggestions, I'm more than happy to take them. The map is nearing its completion. However, there is plenty of space left. I always say, and no suggestion is too minor as well. There's people just suggest little things like I have a standing stone at the end of my street for whatever reason. I've got a bomb shelter in the back garden. These are all cool, quirky things that I do try and depict in there as well. So whatever people come up with, it's great. I'd get about 95% of things in. The only time I can't do it is when the area is simply too full.
Mm-hmm. So, and there
sometimes happens with your larger urban areas, but on the whole, I get everything in.
Okay, well, good luck with that. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And once this is available, hopefully for Christmas 2022, as it sounds like it'd make a great gift, we can have a little natter and talk about the final version. But for now, Chris Burst, thanks for joining us.
Brilliant. Thank you. Take care.
The London Marathon is almost upon us once more, and there's been many charity runners, all raising money for good causes. Pancreatic Cancer UK is one of those, and Ivan Fletcher is doing that. To tell us more, he's on the line now. Hello, sir.
Hello, Jason. How are you?
I'm good. I trust we find you well.
Not too bad, not too bad. Training's going good, so yeah.
That's what counts. Now, running a marathon itself seems completely mad to me. I'd rather catch a bus. However, some people are built for this sort of thing. And is running your thing? Is this something you've done throughout your life?
No. I'll go back to my story. Why I'm running for pancreatic cancer. 4 years ago, sitting in my sister's garden, and after having a barbecue, and the chair broke underneath me.
Mm-hmm.
And my uncle said, if you don't lose weight, you'll end up like him. He was a biggish guy. And so I said, okay, whatever. And then the next day I was on a training course from work, and there's some scales in the toilet, and I weighed myself, and I was the heaviest I've been. So then I joined a gym. I thought, I can do this, lose weight. Then was at work, and somebody said, oh, do you fancy doing a 5K race? This is a couple of months on. So I said, yeah, go on. And that was on the 7th of September, 2018. That was the 8th of September. The race was, but on the 7th of September, my uncle was taken into hospital, and unfortunately, he never came out. Yeah, so I did my first race on the 8th of September. It was his birthday on the 9th of September. So I said to him, well, I'm doing a 10K run in a couple of weeks' time. He said, well, how far is that? So we, from Codsall, so I said, oh, it's like from running from the garage at Codsall up to the M54 junction. And he went, that'll kill you. I went, that'll be all right. So I did the run. The next day, I took my medal in to show him after the 10K, and that was the day he's diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And unfortunately, we lost him the following week.
And that is a really shocking thing to happen. I mean, such a short space of time. I lost my dad to pancreatic cancer last year, and we at least had June through until November. And it depends on what stage it's at, and it's a difficult one to spot. It can be masked by other illnesses, and therefore, unless you know about it and you know early enough, it is very difficult to treat as well. I mean, my dad was, I think, stage 4 by the time he was finally diagnosed, even though he'd been presenting with symptoms and discussing with his doctor. It wasn't picked up because of his diabetes and other issues. And it's a nasty killer, isn't it?
It is. It's the same with my uncle. He'd been diagnosed with diabetes for the last couple of years of his life, and then he just got to a stage where he didn't want to do anything. He didn't want to go out. This is the guy that used to go out 6 nights a week, although he's in his 70s. He still go out all the time, and he said he had no energy. He had nothing there, and I'm glad. At the end of the day, he gave me that motivation to go and do something. So every time I go out running in races, I think if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, fingers crossed it's going to help your health as you get older. And, it's going to be the thing that could actually save your life.
It could be. And yeah, 4 or 5 years ago, I wouldn't do anything. As you said earlier, running to just catching the bus that's all I was doing. I was catching the public transport, and I'll be out of breath walking there. And when I started my journey of running 4 years ago, I'd never thought I'd be running a marathon at all.
I mean, it's an impressive feat in itself just to have completed it. So have you done a marathon before?
No, it's been my first marathon ever. The longest I've ran is 20 miles, which was 5 or 6 weeks ago when I did the Best Foot Forward at Audley Stadium, a local event there. So I did 20 miles that day. And the longest race I've done is a few half marathons now. Last one was in April, which is the London Landmarks half marathon.
Yeah.
That was again for pancreatic cancer, and I did one last year ago today, I think. For pancreatic cancer was at Landmarks half marathon, and back in January, I had a email of pancreatic cancer. Do you fancy running the London Marathon for us? You just got to pay the entry fee. So I paid that. Then rang my partner, says, "You fancy going to London in October?" She said, "What for?" I said, "The London Marathon." And she goes, "Really?" I went, "Yeah." And she says, "Oh, that sounds all right." I said, "Good, I've already paid the entry fee." And then it's just a matter of the fundraising to do it, and that's the fundraising's going well as well.
Well, I know you've hit your initial target, but that means there's just a new target, doesn't it? So how much have you got pledged so far?
just over £3,000 so far, and that started back in January. We started the fundraising there. We've had a fundraising event at a local garden centre where they donated a barbecue, and we had people coming in there. I had a darts competition recently, which raised quite a bit of money. I donated, I was 50 last year. So on social media, I said, for every pound over 50, I'll donate extra money. So then people was liking my post on Instagram and Facebook, so that took it to quite a bit.
So that cost you a bit of cash, which is fine. That's okay.
Yeah, I've got somebody, close friend, who his percentage of his winnings from his betting each month's putting money in there as well. Yeah, and people from work, my running groups. I mean, yeah, people from working at the Wall Speedway. Yeah, so got social media does help a lot with the fundraising, and it's good. But yeah, £3,000. Of course, it doesn't just stop there. I want to raise more money and raise the awareness of pancreatic cancer. Pancreatic cancer is probably one of the smallest charities out there. It's just raising the awareness of it to people, and it's surprising how many people you get talking to, and they say family members that have died of pancreatic cancer, and yeah, some people have 1-2 years with their partner or family members, and other people like myself my uncle was diagnosed within a week and we lost him, and it is there. And I know every time I go out running, he'll be looking down going, well done. He probably wouldn't say it if he was here, but
he would take the mick out of you, but equally, behind that, he'd be proud of what you've done.
He'd be proud. Yeah, he would be proud of what I'm doing, and yeah, and it's just going out there and just doing it for him.
Yeah,
and everybody else who's died of pancreatic cancer.
It's going to mean a lot when you do the run. Obviously, it's a massive feat to take on. And how long is it I've known you now? It must be decades. So I never have imagined you doing this, to be fair.
20 odd years, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So 20 years ago, yeah, I'll probably watch a marathon or eat one.
And then they go and change the name on you just to confuse things.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is. I wouldn't think I'd ever be doing it, and it's running has actually changed my life, physically, mentally, and I've met some really, really good friends through it as well. And who would have thought that somebody at work 4 years ago saying, "Oh, do you fancy doing this 5K run?" 4 years later, I'd be doing a marathon. I wouldn't have dreamt of doing it. You as you say, you watch it on telly and stuff like that, and it's there. And I think the atmosphere on the day will be good as well. We're traveling down on the Friday and coming back on the Monday, so a weekend of it, and it just dropped lucky that Wolves were at West Ham the day before as well. So
these things happen.
Yeah, so it might be a trip to West Ham the day before.
I think that's a good warm up for a marathon, if anything else. But there you go. So the important bit now is getting more funds in. So give us all the details of how people can contribute.
Yeah, I've got a Just Giving page. If you just Google Ivan Fletcher for Just Giving. And it's Ivan raising money for pancreatic cancer UK 2022.
Okay, so we're looking out for that one. You're all over the socials as well, either as Fletch or Ivan Fletcher. So you just search for it.
Yes,
You'll track it down that way. But good luck with this. I know you'll smash it. That's the thing. But keep building up to it. Get past that 20 mile barrier that you've already done so far, and you've got a few months more trying to go. You go have to do a 10-mile run now, aren't you?
Yeah, 10-mile run today. So 10-mile run today. Then what we've got, don't know how many miles we've got this week, but it's trying to judge everything around work and other commitments as well. But yeah, it means someone's getting up early in the rain. Sometimes when the weather was up the other week as well, going out there and thinking, do I really want this? But yeah, it's that motivation and kick up the backside, which my uncle gave me them years ago, and having support from friends, family there that do support you and will send you a message when you do a run, all proud of you doing that, and attend Wolverhampton Park Run when I can. So if anybody's there, might see me running around in my pancreatic cancer top as well. So if you do see me, come and say hi.
That's the way to do it. And also giving some cash towards the total, which is coming together nicely at the moment, which is the way we like it. I've been good to see you, mate. Keep up the good work and have a great time running around London in just a couple of months' time.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Thank you very much. See you soon. Ciao.
Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre have stages their summer workshop for kids 10 through 17 years old. Now we're down at the Lighthouse as part of the launch, and Lucy Ellen Parker is here with me because you've been pulling all this together.
Yes, with the help of my very lovely colleague James Collins, who unfortunately is on holiday. He's got out of this one.
Gallivanting off.
He's gallivanted off.
You've all been doing so much, because I mean, James has obviously been busy with the Panto tour, which is going around schools.
Yeah, of course.
So what is stages then? Because I know some of it's already sold out.
Yes, so we've obviously got the exhibition going along with the workshops.
And lots of people down
here.
here.
Yeah, and lots of people here, so it's really, really nice. So Stages is a celebration of the Wolverhampton Grand Theatre's work with young people. So we've kind of looked back over the last 5 years and had a look at all the work that's been going on. So we've showcased all that in this room, and it's been really nice for me actually, because I'm fairly new to the theatre. So
you're fairly new to this theatre.
Yes.
Theatre itself, you've been doing since you were about this tall?
I have.
That's really short.
Since I could crawl possibly. So that's my background. But I was employed here in April, which it's been fantastic. And as a young person who used to come to the theatre myself, it's been wonderful to just see the work that gets done with young people in the area and what the Grand does for young people in the area.
Because you've got the Grand Youth Theatre working with the arena and the performances down there, and I mean Fran, who's here, will be talking a bit about that.
Yeah.
But there's so much more than that in itself. And
absolutely.
Of course, Panto's very often the entry point for kids to actually go to theatre.
It is.
And you've then got on top of that the fact that, so we've mentioned there's the schools side of things.
Yeah.
And even then you take that to the next level. At the other end, you've got kids getting involved sometimes with a memory cafe as well when they go with grandparents.
Absolutely.
And some of the youngsters there, that'll be their first exposure to theatre too.
Yeah, absolutely. And my first exposure to theatre was the Grand Theatre. So my grandparents brought me to the Panto, and then I would come with my school and we'd come and see a show. And I think I remember coming to see the Mikado that was years ago. And I remember thinking, I was primary school, thinking, what on earth is this? But it absolutely fueled my love for theatre. So yeah, it's really, there is so much to offer, and the Wolverhampton Grand is such a jewel in Wolverhampton's crown, and it's just wonderful that there's so much that young people can get involved with. So, and then this year, what we've decided to do, we've launched our Stages summer workshops. So we're working with local practitioners, local artists, local artists like you can see behind me. So Jack Sankson, who's here this evening, has created this wonderful graffiti art. So we're doing lots of workshops with local practitioners for young people aged 10 to 17. who can come here and do some graffiti. They can come to the theatre and do some drama. And Fran, who is our practitioner who works with the youth theatre, is taking that. We've got a hip hop workshop, we've got a Bhangra workshop, we've got costume making, and it's all free. And that's all part of the Grand's, initiative to promote working with young people and actually to promote young people in Wolverhampton.
Yeah, because even if they're not looking at working in the theatre, the fact they get involved can build confidence, whether in a theatre group or a dance group, something like that. And many local dance groups and Amsterdam theatre companies are performing at the Grand because it is not only the best stage in the area, but it's such a warm, friendly environment for that too.
I think that's the people as well, don't you?
Yeah,
I think Midlanders are really, really friendly.
Yeah, it does help, doesn't it?
But no, and it's lovely. And as somebody who's fairly new to the theatre, I've had such a warm welcome, and it's been really nice because I've only ever sort of been on the other side of it. So it's been lovely to kind of go behind the scenes, but also work with such a wonderful set of people.
Well, it is absolutely amazing. It's going to be a fantastic set of events running throughout August.
Yep.
Some are sold out already, but if you want to get involved, when we say sold out, they're free events, but they've been allocated fully. Where can we go to find out what is available and get involved?
So, you can send me an email. So my email address is lucy.parker@grandtheatre.co.uk and I can tell you what's available.
Yep.
You can also go on a waiting list for some of the ones that have already sold out. So, things happen and people drop out, so hopefully we can fill the space with that.
Mm-hmm. But there's also things like theatre tours and maths trials. These are available for schools to buy and to come down and bring their kids to see what's going on behind the scenes. Explore an empty theatre as well, which is quite
absolutely.
exciting too.
I think that's amazing.
And maybe even see the ghosts.
Yeah. Well, no.
They're fine.
Oh no, I don't think I want to. But no, that's so. If you want to know anything about that, you can go to our website and you can get in touch with our outreach manager for creative learning, and that's James Collins. And his email address is jamesc@grandtheatre.co.uk, and he can tell you about the intro to Panto, youth memberships. They're all free.
Yep.
So if you want to, come to the theatre, you can come along and you can get discounted tickets for free.
There's a waiting list for 16 through 25s on certain shows as well.
Yeah, there is, absolutely, and you can come. So 1625 can get £10 standby tickets. So
that's the phrase I was looking for, and you did much better than me.
That's it. There you go. That's it. Get the standby tickets. I'm trying to think what else is behind me.
There's
the Panto. There's a prop. Absolutely. There's a Panto project. The theatre tours, and we've just launched our new youth ambassador scheme, which is Generation Grand, and we're calling it Gen G. So I'm hoping that is cool enough to call it that.
I think so. And there's one of them now.
There you go. Absolutely. So that is for young people aged 8 to 25. We're looking for vibrant young people to become the youth voice of our theatre.
So great things going on. grandtheatre.co.uk, check out everything there. Email Lucy if you want to find out more about all of these events that are taking place as part of the Stages Summer Workshop. Thank you very much, Aries. Thank you for showing this
Thank you very much.
And I'm looking forward to hearing all about what has happened when it's all happened.
Thank you very much.
Now, one of the workshops that's going to be taking place over the summer as part of the Stages event with Wolverhampton Grand Theatre will involve some amazing graffiti. The graffiti that's around the room here at the Lighthouse at the minute has been put together by Jack Sampson, who is with me now. Hello, sir.
How's it going, mate? You okay?
Oh, good here. And you've been jotting people's names down for them in a full-on graffiti style over the last hour or so.
Yeah, sound. So would you like me to do your name?
If you do Jason for me, that'd be
Wicked.
fantastic.
I'll get cracking on
You do that whilst we talk. So how did you get into this graffiti art? Because you're only 19.
So I started doing it for my Duke of Edinburgh. So I was volunteering in a graffiti shop with a guy called Panda, and he owns his own business and that kind of thing. So he started putting me on to different workshops and that sort of thing. So he basically started what I'm doing now. So credit to him, to be fair, because he taught me everything I know. So it was real good of him. But yeah.
But graffiti style itself is something we've seen for 4 decades, and it is iconic. And it's almost like it's got its own font very much, isn't it?
Yeah, so with graffiti, it's about sort of like, not necessarily conforming, but it's about doing your own thing. You've not got to follow X, Y or Z. So say, for example, with a lot of the colours that graffiti artists use, it's not about like blending in with like what's typically known to art and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's about just doing your own thing and doing what works best for you.
And it's an expression, isn't it, as much as anything else? No,
Yeah,
I
pretty
think
much.
that helps too. And what's it been like down here today with sharing a few of your skills, but also seeing what everyone else can do as well?
I've been loving it. It's great when adults as well get involved and they get real focused in terms of like what's with colouring in and that kind of thing, and taking it a lot more serious than I thought it would be. So yeah, it was pretty fun doing that.
So are we looking for Jack Sansom online?
So Graffiti for You, so GRAFFITIFOR and then the letter U. So if you want to type me in on Instagram and that kind of thing, so that's where it's going to be at.
And with that, you get to share your art in a different way that way. It hasn't always got to be on a wall.
Definitely not. It can be on canvas as well. So a lot of graffiti artists as well from say like the 70s and 80s, they're exhibiting a lot of their stuff in galleries and that kind of thing. So a common one who's a local guy is a guy called Goldie. So he's a DJ, graffiti artist. He's done the whole thing. So he's exhibiting a lot of his artwork and taking it to that next step for what he's done. So he's putting a lot of work to be able to do that kind of thing. And yeah, maybe one day I'd be up for it, definitely.
See what happens. Are you interested in the world of music too?
I'm not necessarily too clued up on music.
So let's go with the graffiti now.
Yeah.
That will do the job.
Sound.
Jack Sansom is what we're looking for, and we have my name appearing here on canvas. Obviously, you don't want to get interrupted when you're trying to work by someone asking you questions all along, do you?
Yeah, it's a bit hard to like, talk and do it, to be fair. Like,
you going to enjoy being part of the exhibition itself?
Yeah, it's been wicked being part of the exhibition and doing a load of other people's names and that kind of thing.
But give us your online details again so people can track down your work.
So Graffiti for You on Instagram, so GRAFFITIFOR and then the letter U. And on my Facebook, it's Graffiti for You again. So I've got a Facebook page or Jack Graffiti if you want to type that in. And yeah, that's all my details. It's got pretty much.
Looking good, fantastic work. I'm looking forward to seeing that finish off and coloured in a bit. We'll leave him to that. Meanwhile, thank you, Jack Sansom, for joining us.
Cheers.
Laura Leo of Leo's Theatrical Costumes, established 2015. It has got a workshop as part of the Stages event, and you've already sold out, and you've got 30 kids to deal with.
Yes, I was surprised when they said we'd sold out, which was nice. A little bit daunting, but I think we'll have a great time. Clearly, people are interested in costumes and sewing and that kind of old craft that I think kids maybe don't learn now.
Yeah, it's not necessarily going to be on the school curriculum in the way it maybe was.
Well, no, and it should be.
I did sewing in school.
Yeah, I think it should be.
I wasn't a disaster either, which is good.
That's why we love a disaster.
I was in PE, but when you're doing this sort of thing, you're obviously, it's part of getting people to know about you and your business as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're supplying theatrical costumes to all sorts of shows, professional and amateur.
Yeah, all over the UK.
And that must be amazing in itself to be part of theatre.
Yeah, I mean, we're never bored. But yeah, I think it's just when you work within that kind of that bubble, it's such a special thing, especially if you love theatre like me and the staff do. But I think getting kids more involved and understanding maybe not just what happens, the actors on the stage. I think there's so much that goes on, makeup, costumes, lighting, absolutely everything. I think it's great for them to see those little things that happen.
And those interactions as well, because the costume's got to look right under the lights that are there.
Exactly,
so, and that could be part of the call. It could be part of a remake of something. Sort of
well,
thing,
yeah, and I think there's so much now on TV and film, and I think maybe the way they're doing it, things like Bridgerton and Greatest Showman, I think it is getting young people more involved and going, wow, that looks absolutely amazing. And the people really play on that now, with all these new remakes. And I think costume's something that people are getting really excited about.
Yeah.
And they want to dress up it as well. So I think learning a skill like sewing and understanding things that work well on stage, it's exciting, really.
So I mean, there's often recreation of looks. I mean, Stranger Things absolutely huge at the moment.
Exactly, yeah.
You have to very often. You can't always get the exact T-shirt you want from the 80s.
Yeah, so
these things get remade.
Yeah, if you learn that skill, you can be making it at home yourself.
Yeah, it's absolutely fab. When it comes down to the workshop itself and being part of the Stages Summer Workshop, that's going to be awesome. Getting kids interested, engaging, and that's the important part.
Exactly.
But let's have a plug for the business as well.
Yeah, so sorry, did you just say?
Plug the business.
Oh, sorry. So we're Leo's Theatrical Costumiers. We've been established, like you said, since 2015. We're a small group, and obviously since the last, couple of years has been a tough one for us, but
Absolutely.
we're coming out strong.
Yeah.
And I think that's due to our enthusiasm and love for what we do. And we supply to all age groups, universities, schools, theatre groups. I think it's our passion that's really brought us through. So things like this and the workshops just make us more excited about sharing our skills.
And where do we find you online?
So we're at www.leostheatricalcostumiers.co.uk, and we're on Facebook and Instagram, which is really fun to follow because we do a lot of things showing things that we're making, and I'm getting into reels, but that shows keeps
both
behind the
cotton
scenes
and online.
Yes.
It's great to see you down here as well, because it's part of the exhibition at the Lighthouse. We've actually got several of the dresses that are part of your repertoire as well.
So there was we probably got over 50,000 costumes. So when Lucy said, bring something along, it was a tough choice, but we went a little bit panto themed. But yeah, so I mean, we've got many things we could have chose from, but this is just a very small selection of some of our favourite things for panto.
Well, great meeting up with you. Thank you for sharing your passion, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic when you have to share it with the kids as well.
Well, thank you very much.
But down here at the Lighthouse, we've been celebrating stages of the fantastic series of workshops that the Grand Theatre are running over the summer. One of those workshops is involving youth theatre. That involves Fran. And Scott's been down here helping to coordinate and bring things together and celebrate the event. How are we both doing?
We're good, aren't we? Yeah, we're having a good time.
So, Scott, first of all, a bit of your background to this, because when you're looking after the press and helping to let people know about the events that are taking place at the Grand, this is something very different to promoting a show, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's nice that we have so many different projects at the theatre so that we can work on, because it just keeps things fresh and it keeps things really varied and fun for people to come to. And obviously, as you know, our summer season has finished, and the shows will really start to kick off again in September. So this is a really nice project to see us through the summer.
Absolutely. And with the likes of the encouragement that the 16 through 25-year-olds are getting, the ambassadors that you have on board with that, I mean, this all sort of ties in with it as well, because we're looking at the next theatre goers and also performers too.
Yeah. We're really passionate at the Grand about programming a variety of work that includes the entire community, and of course the young community are a really big part of that. So the work that we've been doing with Lucy Ellen Parker, who's our new Speak Up manager, this all around us of the work that we've been doing over the last sort of 5 years, right now and in the future, with young people, either at the theatre or in their schools, however we can get involved with them, really.
And Fran, with the work that you do, obviously there's the work at the Arena, the Grand Arena Partnership when it comes to youth theatre. It's got a proper name, you'll tell me that in a minute. But I mean, you're doing a workshop as well, so again, one will feed the other, no doubt.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm the senior practitioner for the Grand Arena Youth Theatre.
That's the way round it goes.
One.
Yeah.
And that's a collaboration between the Grand Theatre and the Arena Theatre in Wolverhampton. And we've got a juniors and a seniors group ranging from 9 right through to 18. And our groups are absolutely fantastic. They've just done 2 incredible end-of-year productions, and we couldn't be more proud of them. And the workshop that I'll be running during the project, the Speak Up project, is a drama workshop, a little bit of a taster of the things we get up to at youth theatre, a bit of acting, a bit of physical theatre, a little bit of devising. So I think it's going to be a nice chance for people who maybe want to dip their toes in the water and aren't sure they want to jump right in yet, to come, have a go, and then if they think it's great, sign up for youth theatre and come and get really involved.
Absolutely, and there's a chance to change their lives here. It's the same with Lucy earlier on. Even if somebody isn't looking at going into theatre, that's not going to be what they will do later on. They're never going to star in EastEnders. The confidence builder that they get for being involved in something like this allows them to come out of the shell in many cases and start them off on a great career, whatever it is they choose to do.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, our members range. We've just had someone graduate from our youth theatre who's off to drama school in September, but we've also had someone who joined us in September who wasn't really interested in theatre or drama, but just wanted to gain some new friends and get a bit of confidence. And their parents have sort of said to us they've finally found their tribe, they've found the people that they belong with, and that's just as important to us as people who make it onto the stage. It's about people developing skills that will stay with them for life. Everybody needs confidence. Everybody will public speak at some point in their life, and everybody needs to make friends. So it's a great opportunity to come along and meet different people and find a way to just expand yourself and really get out there.
It is going to be so exciting to be part of this as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I love my work with the youth theatre. I work as a professional theatre director, but I do always say that the highlight of my week is working with young people at the youth theatre. And I said to someone recently that I kind of wish that I could inject some of the professionals I work with the same passion and enthusiasm that young people have. And young people are the future. I know it sounds like a generic thing to say, but actually we need to harness that passion and make sure that it carries on throughout their lives. So often young people are stamped down, are told, or you know, they're thugs or whatever, and we need to change that mentality. We need to look at them as our future, and I'm thrilled to say that the young people in Wolverhampton are so wonderful to work with, and I'm really looking forward to the summer.
Yeah, they might get to play thugs, but that's all. They're not actually going to be thugs. And no bullies, so that'll all be good. But I mean, Scott, again, I mean, it is all about the excitement and the engagement as part of the theatre, and grandtheatre.co.uk is a place to go to for all the news stories on that.
Yes, yeah.
And the socials? Give us the
and
socials.
Walls Grand on everything, Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. And also, if you do come to the exhibition as well, there isn't one on here, but on most of the boards, there's a little QR code that you can just scan in the corner, and that takes you through to the website, and there's more information on there that you can find out about.
So check all of that out. It is stages, it's the summer workshops for the Grand Theatre. grandtheatre.co.uk to find out everything that they're doing. Check out the socials for all of this and everything else that's going on. But Scott and Fran, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
That's your lot for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Back with episode 685 next week. I'll see you then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.